Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Maya with Simply Bloom. So today we're going to do a couple things. I wanted to pot up some African violet leaves that I've been having in water that have rooted and have little actually leaves coming from the very base of the stem. Now I actually filmed that a couple days ago, so if you notice in the video, I think you just see my arms. You'll notice I have like a green sweater on. That's why. But pretty much I popped these leaves in water. Man, it was probably like 5 months ago, and one of the leaves that I potted up, or that I put in water, actually ended up rooting in, and that was this leaf. And I potted it up, and you can see all the baby little leaves coming. It is doing so well. I'm super happy with it. I have a little bit of like a mold issue on the soil, but overall it's looking so good. And the rest of the leaves didn't have any roots. I completely forgot about it, honestly, and I just left them in the propagation station. And I remembered it the other day. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna go throw this away because the leaves looked like death. They looked completely dead. I was like, there was no hope of anything coming from this leaf. So I went to go get it the other day, and I noticed there were roots, and there were actually little tiny leaves forming at the base of the stem. So I potted those up, and you will see that in a second in the video. And then the next thing I'm going to do, it is Easter this weekend after all. So I celebrated Easter with my mom actually a couple weeks ago. And when I was there, I saw her Easter cactus, and I wish I would have gotten a picture. It has the most beautiful pale apricot blooms ever. And I asked her, I'm like, Mom, can I have a little clipping? She said yes. So here we have a little clipping of her Easter cactus. Now there's all these charts, and I'm guessing this is an Easter cactus because it's blooming now. But between the Easter cactus, the Thanksgiving cactus, and the Christmas cactus, they all look very similar, but their individual lobes are shaped slightly different. So I'll throw up a picture of what I have. And then I have this one. I can't remember if it's a Thanksgiving or a Christmas cactus. When I compare the lobes, they look nearly identical. The only thing I can see is this one's a little bit more slender, and these are a little bit more wide. But yeah, that's the best I can give you. So I'm actually going to be transplanting this cactus into a different pot. This one, which it's technically a little bit bigger than what I would like, because I've heard that Christmas cactus, Thanksgiving, Easter, all those cactuses like to be slightly root bound or pot bound. But this right here is the best pot I have for this cutting. So that's what we're gonna do. And then for now, I'm just gonna plop this whole thing in. I did let it air dry on the counter for a few days just to let that end callus over so it wouldn't rot when I potted it up. You can actually see, I don't know if you can see, I threw it in a different, I threw in my Medusa cactus for the last week and a half, and there are little roots forming. I don't know if you can see that or not. So I think I'm gonna pop the bottom lobe in, and then I think what I'm gonna do is actually cut these other lobes off, let them air dry, and then I'm gonna pot them in. So instead of just having one single stem coming out, it will form like multi-stems like this one. So that's the plan. I just don't wanna pop them in without letting them callus over for a day or two. So that's what we're gonna do. As far as care on African violets, I know they recommend putting it in a really bright indirect light. I actually have mine in an east facing window right now, so it gets a little bit of morning sun, but then it's protected from the rest of the day. I live in northern Minnesota. Our sun's not very strong, especially in March, so I'm just gonna keep an eye on those African violets, making sure they're not getting too much sun. And then same with the Christmas cactus. I've kept this one in a west facing window all year long. Now, I've heard that if they get too much sunlight, that their leaves can actually get bleached and discolored. I've never experienced it with this one. My mom keeps all of her Christmas and Easter or whatever cactuses she has in her west-facing window as well. Again, we're both in northern Minnesota, so if you live somewhere where the sun's a lot more scorching hot and a lot more strong, keep that in mind. I do not have any cactus fertilizer, but I'm thinking about getting some. They say once a month, fertilize it with a cactus fertilizer during the summer months and then stop during the winter time. So it's coming up here soon. Spring is right around the corner. So I'm going to look into getting some cactus fertilizer. And then for my African violets, about once a month, I give them a good dose of African fertilizer as well. So let's get to potting up. Okay, you guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope these will like their new homes, and it feels good to finally get those African violets out of water since I forgot about them the last couple months. But I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.